Oh, got a beautiful sun shower. A September sun shower. Welcome to Super Soul Skills. My name is Avian Doyle. I am your spiritual teacher and soul coach. You can find me at aviandoyle.com. Let's tune in. Let's take a breath. Let's look at the energies coming up in October 2021. We are heading towards the end of September. September was a lull or a pause in energy, and in last month's, when we did the September energy forecast video, I called it reset, and I did tell you to rest and reset and to take advantage of the opportunity to do so, because October is, what's the word for October? I'm just getting extravagantly monumental. That's what I'm getting when I tune into spirit. So there will be an opportunity in October, or whenever you're watching this video, I believe in the law of attraction, that when you line up with something, it's for you. So if you're experiencing this video in this moment, bring it into the present moment, knowing that this message is timeless. When you're here, you're ready to hear it. So here we are. So hopefully you've had your rest. You were able to press that reset button in September, because October it's a returning to patterns or people where we have unfinished business, where there is lingering contrast. Some might interpret these energies as a cleaning up of karma. Some people will say these energies is about a karmic cleanse. Sorry, the shadows and the light are just dipping now. This is what happens with videos as I move into autumn and winter. It gets harder and harder to catch the light, but it doesn't matter. You can just listen to this. You don't need to see me. Yeah, so for some people, some spiritual teachers will translate this as a cleaning up of karmic patterns. Now, it is that in some ways, but I don't see karma in the old three-dimensional viewpoint. I was told by my guides, by my angels, that karma, once we moved into the new earth, into the fifth dimension in the last few years, that the old karma way of playing out was no longer necessary, that humanity had evolved beyond that. So it's not like tit for tat anymore. It's not like, oh, you did this bad thing, so this bad thing will happen. And really, to be honest, karma has never been like that. It's never been tit for tat. It's never been an eye for an eye. And you only have to look around you to see that that's true, because the evidence suggests that it's never been that. But the universe does keep a balance to things. It does keep, the eye of truth does have a tally of balance, and knowing that the truth is the truth, and your soul wants to create balance. So when we die and go back to source, it's not that we are forced back into a new lifetime to reincarnate. It's not that spirit says, you did a bad thing, you need to go back down there and sort that out and clean that up. It's not like that at all. But when we have our life review, and when we're shown perhaps pain we've caused to others, or something that's unsettling to us from a soul perspective, the soul often volunteers to go back and to cross paths with that soul again, so that things can be balanced. I mean, the old word would be like retribution and all this kind of stuff, but it's really, from what I've been shown, it's not that dramatic. And it is always a choice. You always have free will. You always have a choice whether you reincarnate or you don't. So some souls will say, I'm going to stay as a spiritual guide to my loved ones. And some will say, I'm really not happy with that life review. There's so much I left unsaid, unfinished. There's so much I have to do. I haven't used my creative gifts. Send me back down in a frisky new body and we'll start this whole thing again. And this time I'll come in guns blazing. I will be full of enthusiasm. And you see that with some kids. They're born and they know from the time they open their eyes and speak their first word. They know who they are. They know what they want to do. They're like, I want to be a dancer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be. They have that soul clarity because they remember from a soul level why they decided to come back. So in the moons that are following, we have an opportunity in this lunar cycle to revisit, review, reflect, re-acknowledge, rediscover people, places, parts of ourselves that have been neglected, been disrespected, and unacknowledged. So if there's patterns that have you've outgrown them. They're no longer giving you the same kick, the same thrill, or the same payoff that they always did. You're going to find you need to break that pattern. And you're going to feel the impetus to do that as we move through the autumn. So pay attention to who comes back into your life. Pay attention to who shows up again. You might find you are pulled to contact someone from your past that you have unfinished business with. Maybe you want to apologize. Maybe you feel the need to say, I am sorry that I reacted that way. Or maybe somebody is going to contact you and say those words. I would advise, if that happens, that you embrace the opportune energy and moment to heal those patterns and to clear up those lingering karmic ties. So if there's any karmic relationships that you are part of, you're either going to transcend that in some way moving forward, or you're going to make peace with it, complete it, and let it go. Is it possible for two souls in a karmic relationship to transform, expand, and evolve and transcend it and bring it into a soulful connection that's no longer based on lower three-dimensional paradigms? Yes, that is possible. But it's only possible when both souls are accelerating together. Both souls are doing the work. If one of you is riding high and bringing up the frequency and expanding and accelerating, but the other one is still down here in the ego self and just staying stagnant, you will just take off without the need to bring that person with you. And you'll know that because they'll feel like a weight. They'll feel like they're slowing you down, they're dragging their feet behind you, and you will be given an opportunity as you move forward to just cut those ties and move on. And somebody was asking in the comments, do I have any videos on cutting the cords, cutting the ties that bind? Yes, I did a video on that. I think it was 2019. I did it. I think it's called cutting cords. So you can scroll back into my catalogue of videos and find it, okay? So what do you need to rediscover? Maybe you used to live a much simpler life. Maybe your life was more minimal. Maybe you used to eat simpler. Maybe your routine was more peaceful, less complicated. How have you complicated things? How have you lost touch with a simpler, truer reflection of the essence of who you really are? This is a great theme for you at this time. You can really look at that and you can decide, okay, what needs to be removed? What needs to be cut away? Think of the Ace of Swords in the tarot. Big Ace of Swords. It cuts through what no longer serves. It's a good time to do that. Now, I am not an astrologer, but I know that we have 7 planets retrograde in October. 7. So, there's going to be a lot of changes and expanding, evolving challenges. I would suggest that you remember not to be reactionary, but to manage these energies. So when there's a lot of retrograde planets, it's often a good time that we rest and relax and that we just simplify, because there won't be the energy there to throw ourselves into new things, new projects, when we start something new, we often need a lot of energy. We need that high impulse. And I would say, if you don't need to start it new at this time, probably don't. But then again, life is happening and sometimes we have to start something new because it's showed up and we've needed this change. So if that's the case, please don't be a defeatist when it comes to astrology. Don't let external things, I don't care what it is, astrology included, dictate every little move you make in your life, because that is another form of fear. That is another form of control, and you're restricting yourself and keeping yourself small. Work with the energies as best you can and the universe will work with you. Okay? So I'm also getting that some of you are very angry. I've noticed this as well in the past week with my own clients. There's a lot of anger, but it's kind of trapped. I feel it around the throat chakra. And I want to do this for you, because when I'm doing hands-on healing, I always go in and so if you feel like you're very trapped in your throat right now, I'm really dry. I need to get a drink of water. Just loosen up that energy. Just shake it off. So yeah, there's a need to shake off the dust. There's a need to blow off the cobwebs. I went up the hill of Tara yesterday. It was really windy and there was a few rain showers and stuff, but we didn't care. We were just happy to blow the cobwebs off and just to let that air into your mind, into your consciousness, and just go to a power place. We also went to a holy well in Tara. I've never been there before, and I love holy wells because they are ancient places of power. So if you're feeling down or low, go and Google your nearest holy well. And you can drink in this holy well. There's like little cups and people drink the water. But just the energy there is it's a real high frequency, and you can just sit there and be with the elementals, with the fairies, with the energies, and you start to feel yourself, okay, I'm coming back into balance. So I would suggest, with all we have going on in the next few weeks in October, that you visit a power place. And maybe in your country, maybe where you are, there's no holy well, but surely there's some power place. There's a place that you can go. And for some of you, that might be a church. You might like sitting in a church because it feels like it's a powerful place to be. It's a place of peace and prayer. I would say do that. It's a great time to re-energize and reconnect with your internal power. If you have that unexpressed anger, please make sure that you feel it, that you allow yourself to acknowledge it. Now, one thing I will say, and this is just coming in very clearly. Thank you, angels. Do not torture yourself by focusing too much in the past. These energies have a tendency to spin us back because everything's going retrograde, and it can bring us retro. It can bring us back, okay? It's okay to look back, to heal, to acknowledge, to shift. Don't get stuck there and don't stay there, because you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be present. And when we heal from that presence, we actually change the past. We change our timelines. We collapse timelines when we heal from the moment, from this present. So be who you are, be where you are. Don't be torturing yourself about somebody who, oh, I missed that opportunity. I could have had something with that person. If it didn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't the right time. And if you're meant to be with that person, you will cross paths again, either in this timeline or another timeline. So there's great peace and freedom in just letting it be and not hurting yourself by reliving and reimagining and wishing. You know, too much wishing and, oh, I wish that had happened and that should have happened. Wishing and shoulds can really lower our vibration. So don't be a wishy-washy person, right? If you're wishing too much, you're making your energy wishy-washy. We don't want that for you. So just take a deep breath, anchor yourself into this moment and decide that this is where your power is, because that's the truth. You can't go back. You can't say what you didn't say. You can't relive a past event. So you need to be here. And you need to ask yourself, what can I do now? How can I make this day, this moment powerful, meaningful, connected? How can I feel alive today? What do I need to do? And you can make those choices. And by doing that, you're taking back your power. And you are setting off new paths of intention. So intention and prayer are really important, especially at this time. There will be some elements of the past coming back in, but make sure it's from the present that you're doing that work. It's from the present. So even if someone from the past, just saying X comes back, make sure you're looking at them through the eyes of the present. Not what it was, not what it could have been. What is it right now? Not potential. Don't live for potential. What's happening right now? How are you seeing this person right now? And everything will be okay for you in October. So I did another video where I did a free 3 little readings in that for you. So if you want to check that out, it's either be up now or it'll be up later. I only upload whenever I'm inspired to upload. As you know, I don't plan or prep any of this stuff. This is very spontaneous. I think that's the most creative, honest, authentic way to do it. And I'm just tuning in and channeling on behalf of you, the viewer. So thank you so much. Please give me a like and subscribe if you're interested in that. And I wish you a magical October. Take care. Bye-bye.